Welcome to the 2023 awards ceremony of the Royal Society of Canada. My name is Gary Libin, and I am Secretary of the Royal Society of Canada. It is a great pleasure for me to recognize and honor with you the extraordinary achievements of the 21 medal and award winners. I also wish to welcome RSC President Alain G. Gagnon, who will be presenting the awards after each honoree delivers brief remarks. Je profite de l'occasion de remercier tous les membres de l'SRC qui siègent au sein des comités de sélection, ainsi que celles et ceux qui ont proposé des candidatures pour les différents prix. I would also like to take the opportunity to acknowledge that much of the work of the University of Waterloo takes place on the traditional territory of the neutral, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples. Its main campus is situated on the Haldimand Tract, the land granted to the Six Nations that includes 6 miles on each side of the Grand River. Le premier prix qui sera remis ce matin est le prix Alice Wilson. The Alice Wilson Award was established by the RSC in 1991 to honor the memory of Alice Evelyn Wilson, FRSC, the first woman elected to the RSC, Paléontologue de renommée internationale. She was one of Canada's foremost geologists. The award is given to 3 women of outstanding academic qualifications in the arts and humanities, social sciences, or science, entering a career in scholarship or research at the postdoctoral level. The Alice Wilson Award winner from the disciplines associated with the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council is Elaine Cagulada of the University of Toronto. Elaine Cagulada researches in the areas of disability studies, Black studies, and sociology. Chercheuse postdoctorale au sein de la Queen's University, elle étudie les histoires de handicap et de race dans les institutions carcérales canadiennes commémorées. She completed her PhD in the Department of Social Justice Education at the University of Toronto's Ontario Institute for Studies in Education and co-edited alongside Dr. Kanya Tichkowski, Madeleine Duels, and Dr. Efrat Gould, Disappearing Encounters in Disability Studies. Elaine Cagulada.
Thank you. So Alice Wilson, in her book, The Earth Beneath Our Feet, says, quote, "The story of Earth tells us why there are now broad lands in some places and wide oceans in others, why and when the mountains rose up from the plains, why rivers are where they are, what made the waterfalls and canyons, and many other things. And all these things did not just appear presto like magic. Behind each of these common everyday things, there is a story of great happenings. Sometimes the story runs slowly. Sometimes it moves at a dizzy, terrifying speed," end quote. Behind this award, this moment, are many stories, one such story being of a girl whose dreams of disability as life of communities taking care of each other, are lifted up by the loved ones around her. Indeed, the strength of character of those around me are great happenings unto themselves. There too is the vibrancy of spirit around me, to which I owe the depth of my imagination and cultural consciousness. My mother died when she was only a few years older than I am today. She was a lively, happy woman and an intelligent logician whose skills were well suited to her career as a civil engineer. And true to how an engineer might work, I feel her busy in the unfolding of my days. That is, I have and continue to be graced by the presence of amazing people, such as my family, my partner, my partner's family, and of course my mentor, supervisor, and teachers. And I want to do a special call out to my former PhD supervisor, Dr. Tanya Tichkowski, and my mentor and friend, Dr. Rod Michalko. So things do not appear, as Wilson says, like presto by magic. Thank you to Royal Society of Canada for this award, for introducing me to Alice Wilson, and for reminding me of love's designs beneath my feet. Thank you.
La gagnante du prix Alice Wilson dans les disciplines associées avec le Conseil de recherche en sciences naturelles et en génie du Canada est Sabrina Rondeau de l'Université d'Ottawa. Dr. Sabrina Rondeau est stagiaire postdoctorale au département de biologie de l'Université d'Ottawa, où elle travaille avec Dr. Jessica Forrest. Her current research focuses on the impact of agricultural practices, tillage and pesticide use, on wild ground nesting bee communities in field crops. Elle s'intéresse également à l'impact combiné des changements climatiques et de l'exposition aux pesticides sur les rennes de bourdon lors de leur hibernation. Sabrina Rondeau.
My name is Sabrina Rondeau, and I'm very honored to be one of this year's recipients of the Alice Wilson Award. La bourse Alice Wilson a été établie en la mémoire de la première femme élue membre de la Société royale du Canada en 1938, Alice Wilson, and recognizing the historical significance of this award, especially in light of gender disparities within the scientific communities. Initiatives that elevate the visibility of women in the scientific field are of utmost importance, and I feel privileged to be part of this transformative movement. I would like to thank the Royal Society of Canada for honoring me with this award, which not only recognizes my work, but also celebrates the invaluable contribution of women in science. Throughout the years, I've been fortunate to work with truly inspiring and remarkable mentors and colleagues, specifically my master's thesis supervisor, Dr. Valérie Fournier, and my PhD advisor, Dr. Nigel Rains. So thank you both for being such wonderful allies. I also want to acknowledge the exceptional women scientists who have crossed my path during my career, to name only a few: Dr. Hélène Pémé, Susan Willis-Chan, Alana Pindar, Amélie Gervais, Anne Leboeuf, Frédéric Bélanger-Pitt, Nathalie Bordeaux, Valérie Fournier, and Jessica Forrest are among those remarkable individuals who have inspired and guided me. And today I extend my sincere thanks to each one of you for being a source of inspiration. Having been selected among the recipients of postdoctoral fellowships from the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada, I also extend my thanks to NSERC and also to the Western Family Foundation for their financial support of my ongoing research. Et finalement, j'aimerais remercier mes amis et ma famille, avec une mention spéciale à mon mari Sébastien pour son soutien constant qui contribue indéniablement à ma réussite professionnelle. Merci à tous.
The winner of the Alice Wilson Award in the disciplines associated with the Canadian Institutes for Health Research is Dr. Perry Tuttleman of the University of Calgary. Perry Tuttleman obtained her PhD in clinical psychology from Dalhousie University in 2022. Depuis, elle est titulaire d'une bourse postdoctorale en oncologie psychosociale au sein de la University of Calgary et de Cancer Care Alberta. Her research is centered at the intersection of psychosocial oncology, pain, and mental health, and is focused on developing novel, patient-oriented interventions to support children, adolescents, and young adults diagnosed with cancer. Perry Tuttleman.
Hello and good afternoon. It's an honor to be here today to accept the 2023 Alice Wilson Award for CIHR. As a psychologist and clinician scientist in the fields of psychosocial oncology and pain, I've been fortunate to be surrounded by mentors who are strong, successful women. But I'm acutely aware that this is not the case in all areas of science, and so recognitions like the Alice Wilson Award are vital for ensuring that the next generation of Canadian science is comprised of rich, diverse voices, of which gender is only one aspect. Advocacy has always been and will always be at the heart of my work. In my research, which is focused on partnering with patients to co-develop behavioral interventions to support children, adolescents, and young adults with cancer, I've been committed to uplifting the voices of patients across all stages of the work, particularly those voices that we do not often hear from. Something I've learned firsthand as a young woman in science and a leader in patient engagement in research is that diverse voices make our science better. I think of my future mentees and the next generation of Canadian scientists and how we must continue to uplift the voices of women and other equity-deserving groups. It's especially meaningful to receive the award for CIHR for my work on the psychosocial impacts of cancer. Patients often tell us that the emotional and psychological aspects of cancer are among the most challenging parts of their diagnosis. Yet mental health research has not always been prioritized in the same way as other fields in the health sciences. Being recognized with this award by the Royal Society and CIHR shines a light on the importance and value of psychosocial health research. I look forward to continuing to push this field forward as I advance in my career as a clinician scientist in childhood, adolescent, and young adult cancer. Raising a scientist takes a village, and so there's many people that I wish to thank, my family and friends, my PhD advisor, Dr. Christine Chambers, my current postdoctoral advisors, Drs. Fiona Schulta and Melanie Knoll, the University of Calgary and Cancer Care Alberta, CIHR and the Killam Trusts for supporting my research, and of course, the Royal Society for this honor. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Caguilada, Dr. Rondeau, and Dr. Tuttleman. The Henry Marshall Torrey Medal was established in 1941 by Henry Marshall Torrey, founder of the Universities of British Columbia and Alberta, the National Research Council Laboratories, and Carleton University, and president of the RSC from 1939 to 1940. The medal is awarded for outstanding research in a branch of astronomy, chemistry, mathematics, physics, or an allied science carried out mainly in the 8 years preceding the date of the award. The winner of the 2023 Henry Marshall Torrey Medal is Professor Eugenia Kumacheva of the University of Toronto. Dr. Kumacheva is recognized for her seminal contributions in fundamental and applied research in materials science. Parmi ses découvertes révolutionnaires, citons les transitions liquides-solides dans les films liquides ultraminces, l'effet lubrifiant frappant produit par les molécules de polymères et la similitude entre les réactions chimiques et l'auto-organisation des matériaux nanostructurés. She designed a broad range of advanced materials with applications including drug delivery for cancer treatment, tissue engineering, and high-density optical data storage and biometrics. Eugenia Kumacheva.
Thank you very much. I'm humbled and honored to be selected as a recipient of the Henry Marshall Torrey Award. And I'm grateful to the to the Royal Society of Canada and to the University of Toronto for their appreciation of my research accomplishments. This award means a lot to me. First of all, Henry Marshall Torrey was a man of vision with a talent for transforming his ideas into reality. Had degrees in mathematics, physics, and theology, but his legacy was well beyond being a distinguished scientist. He was a principal founder of the University of British Columbia, the University of Alberta, and Carleton University. But perhaps more inspiring was his role as founder and president of the so-called Hockey College, an organization that provided educational opportunities to Canadian military servicemen as a way to help integrate them into civilian life. His commitment to spreading scientific knowledge and international goodwill had a huge impact on the state of science and education in Canada. Secondly, this award is the appreciation of the hard work of the team of more than 200 enthusiastic graduate students, postdocs, and research associates that felt excited about research in chemistry, physics, material science, and engineering, and at different times joined my group at the University of Toronto. It has been a long journey from graduating high school in Ukraine, then the University of Science and Technology in St. Petersburg, completing my postdoctoral research at the Weizmann Institute of Science, and ultimately joining the University of Toronto as a faculty. I am grateful to everyone who has been a part of this journey, my highly supportive family, great friends, colleagues, and collaborators. And I'm also grateful to Canada for all I have achieved. Thank you.
The Jason A. Hanna Medal was established in 1976 by the RSC with the generous assistance of Associated Medical Services Incorporated through its Hanna Institute for the History of Medicine. The medal was established to honor the late president and managing director of AMS Incorporated, Dr. Jason A. Hanna, and to bring recognition to the work of Canadian research in the history of medicine. The winner of the 2023 Jason A. Hanna Medal is Dr. Jacqueline Duffin of Queen's University. Dr. Duffin, Professor Emerita at Queen's University, is a hematologist and historian. Elle était titulaire de la chaire Anna de la Queen's University et a enseigné aux étudiants en médecine, en soins infirmiers, en histoire et en philosophie de 1988 à 2017. One of her 11 books, Stanley's Dream, 2019, examines and revives the long-forgotten Canadian medical expedition to Easter Island, 1964 to 65, through archives, scientific papers, and interviews with surviving expeditionists scattered around the globe. Jacqueline Duffin.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you especially to the Royal Society for this honor. Before coming into this room, stick your hand up. How many of you knew that Canada led a medical expedition to Easter Island? Well, now you do.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. In writing this book, I have to thank the 17 of the 35 expeditionists who gave me their diaries, their letters, their photographs, their memories to help me write the book, and to dozens and dozens of family members of the deceased who also communicated with me. I have to thank people of Easter Island who helped me on my journey there to understand what became of that expedition following. I have to thank archivists from University of British Columbia right across the country to Nova Scotia and beyond to the World Health Organization, whose papers I used to flesh out what had happened on that long-forgotten expedition. I want to thank also the colleagues who helped me at my university, Queen's, which fostered my career for so many years, and to Philip Cerconi of McGill University and McGill Queen's University Press, who helped see this book, it's beautiful, into publication. And I want to thank my grandchildren, to whom this book is dedicated, because the expedition was to determine how humans adapt to the challenges of pollution, overpopulation, and food insecurity. And it astonishes me that 60 years later, we still have these very same concerns in our world into which my grandchildren will move. Thank you very much.
The John L. Singh Award was established in 1986 to honor John Leighton Singh, FRS, FRSC, one of the first mathematicians working in Canada to obtain international recognition through research in mathematics. The award is given for outstanding research dans tout domaine des sciences mathématiques. The winner of the John L. Singh Award is Anita Layton of the University of Waterloo. Anita Layton, professor of applied mathematics at the University of Waterloo, is an internationally acclaimed authority and leading researcher in mathematical medicine and biology. Elle a résolu des problèmes de longue date en informatique scientifique et en physiologie rénale. She is recognized for her pioneering contributions to computational methods for fluid structure interaction problems, and to mathematical modeling of mammalian physiology and pathophysiology, including the first sex-specific models of kidney physiology and blood pressure regulation. Anita Layton.
Thank you. Thank you. So I want to thank the Royal Society of Canada for this tremendous honor. So when you get an award, you always say, oh, what an honor, right? But this is a big honor, and let me explain to you why. So the 2006 John Synge Award was given to Stephen Cook, a professor emeritus at the University of Toronto, who made seminal contributions to the field of complexity theory. So I was a grad student in Toronto in the late 90s, and I took Professor Cook's class in complexity theory, the graduate class, even though I already had the equivalent class when I was an undergrad, just so that I can learn Cook's theorem from Professor Cook. And that was really cool. I had no idea, of course, at the time that Professor Cook is going to win the John Synge Award in a few years, and never would I ever imagine that I'll be winning the same award 17 years later. So this is a big honor. A lot of the credit goes to my talented and hardworking graduate students who are sitting over there, without whom not a lot of math will be done, honestly. And I want to also thank my friend Andita for her support, and my collaborator as well, and for being here. And I want to thank the University of Waterloo for getting me here from the States 5 years ago, and for supporting me and my research group. I want to thank my father, who passed away a few months ago, and I'm sure he's smiling from up there. So my father was the inspiration for me for getting a PhD, but he was also the reason that my PhD is in computer science, not mathematics. So I grew up in Hong Kong, so I went to the same school, like from kindergarten to elementary school to high school, same school. And my father was the head of the math program in that same school. So you can imagine, right? So I was growing up, and I would go to this function that all the teachers bring their family to for Chinese New Year, Mid-Autumn Festival. So my father's colleague would, come over and pat me on the head and say, "Oh, Anita, you're so smart. You're going to grow up and be like your father and be a math teacher." And of course, I thought, I don't think so. That math is the last thing I'm going to do. And look at me now. I am also grateful every day for the most remarkable person I know, my wonderful partner, David McKinnon over there. I'm very grateful for your love, your kindness, your wisdom, your support, your patience. And it is really nice, when I wonder out loud, why would the Royal Society choose me for this award? There's somebody who will look you in the eye and tell you, you're awesome, so they give you prizes. It is actually quite funny that, the imposter syndrome does not disappear entirely, even after you got tenure, after you become a fellow of the Royal Society of Canada, and after you win a few awards. It doesn't go away. Maybe because, I'm as a woman, I don't really look like the previous winners. And I guess for much of my career, I'm often the only woman in the classroom, in the seminar room, sometimes in the department, in the community, on the committee. So I want to thank the Royal Society of Canada again for giving me the John Synge Award. It is truly special because it tells all the young women out there who love math that you do belong here and you can become one of the very best. Thank you.
La bourse commémorative Kitty Newman, financée en 2007 par J. Newman, MRSC, is awarded to an outstanding emerging Canadian scholar in the field of philosophy. This award is given for excellence in the field, which is broadly understood to include philosophy of culture, religion, law, ethics, and logic, or any other branch of philosophy deemed appropriate by the committee. This year's recipient of the Kitty Newman Memorial Award is Professor Ubaka Ogbogu from the University of Alberta. Ubaka Ogbogu is a professor, multidisciplinary legal scholar, and a leading expert in the ethical and regulatory aspects of health research and technologies. Ses activités scientifiques ont façonné et influencé le discours universitaire et les politiques de gouvernance sur des questions morales, juridiques et sociales difficiles inhérentes à la recherche, au développement et à l'adoption clinique des nouvelles technologies sanitaires. His research supports the delivery of ethical and innovative health technologies to Canadians. Ubaka Ogbogu.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to begin by thanking the Royal Society of Canada for this incredible honor. I also would like to thank the award benefactor for recognizing the important contributions that philosophy and philosophical inquiry makes to society, and for encouraging emerging scholars like me to persist in inquiries into meaning, reason, rationality, and morality. My work focuses on intersections, engagements, and confrontations between science, society, and health. I believe this award honors my recent work on pandemic necropolitics, which is a term that describes the willingness on the part of government to accept the death and suffering of the marginalized as a necessary part of managing a pandemic and other crises of the same scope. I'm grateful to the Royal Society of Canada for giving me this incredible platform to speak of this idea and for choosing to give me the impetus to continue reflecting on science, health, and society. I'd like to thank my mentor, Professor Timothy Caulfield, and numerous others who support my work. I also owe immense gratitude to Robin Hidley, the Executive Director of the Health Law Institute at my university, for supporting my progression through academia in a hands-on way. Robin is always there to make things happen for me. Thank you, Robin. Lastly, and of course, most importantly, I wouldn't be here and will not achieve much in life without the love and support of my beautiful and incredible wife, Gift, and my beautiful daughters, Maya and Amaka. I dedicate this award to them. My wife recently lost her mom. She was supposed to be here, my daughters. And so I also dedicate this award to the memory of my mother-in-law and to the hope of recovery to all who grieve her passing. Thank you.
The McLaughlin Medal was established in 1978 by the RSC through the generosity of R. Samuel McLaughlin Foundation. The medal is awarded for important research of sustained excellence in any branch of medical sciences. The winner of the McLaughlin Medal is Dr. Stephen Nayrod.
Hello, my name is Dr. Stephen Nayrod. I'm a professor at the Dalai Lama School of Public Health at the University of Toronto. I'm also at the scientist at Women's College Hospital in the Familial Breast Cancer Research Unit. Really, I've had the pleasure over my career and training to have trained at 4 of Canada's universities. I've worked at University of British Columbia, at University of Ottawa. I did my residency and was a professor at McGill University. For the last 25 years, I've been a professor here at the University of Toronto at the School of Public Health, where I've really been focusing on the study of women with high risk of breast cancer because of BRCA1 and BRCA2 mutations. I remember back in 1987, when it all started, I got a phone call from Gilbert Lenoir at the International Agency for Research in Cancer in Lyon, France, and he collected a bunch of blood samples from all these families with many cases of breast and ovarian cancer, which were given by Dr. Henry Lynch in Omaha, in Omaha, Nebraska, who's recently passed away, and would I be there willing to do the statistical analysis and the linkage analysis, looking for these genes. So that was back in 1990, but after the genes were discovered in 1994 and 1995, I really focused on the management of people, the clinical approach to treating and preventing cancer. So we developed a large cohort study, international. Now there's been 18,000 women with the BRCA1 or BRCA2 mutation enrolled, and we followed some of them for up to 25 years. This has really given us a handle on getting ideas about prevention, surgical prevention, and screening. We find MRI to be a very valuable tool in screening for breast cancer, as well as treatment. We're undergoing studies looking at which treatments, chemotherapy, surgeries, etc., are the best for women with these particular mutations. So that's been quite a journey so far, and it's still going on. Really here I've been helped immensely by my colleagues, the scientists in our team, including Kelly Metcalf, Joanne Katsopoulos, and David Lim. Also our genetic counselors, Angelina Tyrone and Aletta Paul, and had a great team of PhD students and fellows who helped with this, including Vasily Geniakis, Tori Sopik, and David Lim. I also want to thank Ellen McDougall, who's our research management, and all the staff that have been wonderful over the past 25 years in helping us sort out all these problems, all of the logistics of running such a big international study. I'd like to thank, there's over 100 collaborators who have been willing to donate information and participate, and to all the thousands of women who have been generous enough with their time to fill in questionnaires every 2 years to allow us to get a handle on these important questions. So I really want to thank all of them, and thanking the Royal Society of Canada and the membership for awarding me the prestigious McLaughlin Medal, and I'm very, very grateful to it, and it feels like a wonderful it's an opportunity to review and to thank all those people who have been essential in helping us through the research over the past 25 years. Thank you.
Dr. Stephen Nerad has proven that hereditary breast ovarian cancers are preventable. Par ailleurs, et mettent au point des régimes alimentaires susceptibles de réduire des risques à l'intention des femmes ne souhaitant pas subir de chirurgie radicale. His database of 12,000 plus women from 30 countries supports numerous international collaborations. Dr. Nerad is author of over 550 peer-reviewed publications and has an HA index of 84. Stephen Nerad. With support from the Canadian National Committee for the International Union of Theoretical and Applied Mathematics, in 2022, the RSC established the Michael P. Paidousis Medal in Applied Mechanics in recognition of Professor Michael P. Paidousis. Cette médaille reconnaît les contributions individuelles exceptionnelles à la recherche, l'éducation et le leadership en mécanique. The winner of the Michael P. Paidousis Medal is Professor J.N. Reddy of Texas A&M University. J.N. Reddy's shear deformation plate and shell theories have resulted in both scientific advancement and technological utility. Il a aidé des milliers des milliers de chercheurs à étendre et appliquer ces idées à des problèmes pratiques d'ingénierie. Il a conçu les formules révolutionnaires pour étudier les structures matérielles architecturales ainsi que les dommages et les ruptures dans les solides. He is also the author of well-received textbooks that have impacted the education of 3 generations of engineers. J.N. Reddy.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very humbled to receive Michael Paidos' medal from the Royal Society of Canada and the International Union of Theoretical and Applied Mechanics. You know, looking at the awardees today, I'm the only engineer among all of you. But I really congratulate everyone here receiving the award who have more direct societal impact than I am. So my impact is more indirect. So the topic that Professor Paidos, whom I met in my life, is fluid structure interaction. And it is a subject that deals with fluid structure, such as in space, air and aircrafts, or underwater vehicles, whether submarines, including ship structures. So it is a very complex study requiring understanding fundamental theoretical as well as applied mathematics, and then take to the computational. So that is the threefold type research that I carry. So I feel very honored to receive this award, and I owe a great deal to the nominator and the people who wrote the support letters. No matter how much they deserve, they will not receive an honor without thoughtful consideration and support of colleagues. I have a great deal owing to my many people. I will start by saying that I come from a low middle income family, farming family in southern India. My parents were literally not able to provide the professional guidance, but I benefited enormously because of the teachers from primary, middle school, all the way to high school, of course, then during the PhD time. But I owe them. The second group of people, in addition to my teachers or my students, I have a large number of students all over the world, and they have provided me the challenge to advise, teach, mentor, develop them. So this is the greatest satisfaction of my life. I also feel very, very strongly by coming to America, a land of opportunity, provided me the opportunity to be what I am today. So I came some 55 years ago as a student to United States. And I'm standing here in front of you to feel and say that almost whatever little I have done is largely due to all these people and the land of opportunity. Lastly, I'd like to thank my wife for her loving care. And while I'm occupied passionately in teaching and research, without too much of help to her, but she did, so she could not be here today. But I thank wholeheartedly for giving me all the effort and sacrifice she made during the years I've been professionally occupied with this. So I'd like to thank once again the Royal Society of Canada and International Union of Theoretical and Applied Mechanics for bestowing this honor. Thank you.
The Miroslav Romanowski Medal was established in 1994 at the generous bequest of the estate of internationally renowned meteorologist Miroslav Romanowski. The medal is awarded for significant contributions to the resolution of scientific aspects of environmental problems or for important improvements to the quality of an ecosystem in all aspects, terrestrial, atmospheric, and aqueous, brought about by scientific means. An annual lecture series for the award recipient is also associated to the medal. Le gagnant de la médaille Miroslav Romanowski en 2023 est le professeur Abdelhamid Sayari de l'Université d'Ottawa. Professor Sayari is one of Canada's most cited chemists for his pioneering work on porous materials and their environmental applications. Il est internationalement reconnu pour la découverte et le développement des matériaux recyclables pour le captage de carbone. Thanks to the high selectivity and low regeneration energy of Sayari's proprietary materials, his invention is poised to become the leading technology for CO2 capture with direct implications on greenhouse gas effects and global warming. Professor Sayari.
So thank you very much. So when I think of the very long journey that I went through, as you can see from my white hair, so I started in a third world country from zero-income family, actually. I was very, very, very poor when I was young, okay? But I studied very hard, and I got a bachelor's degree in Tunisia. Then I moved to France to get a PhD. Then I moved to the United States as a postdoctoral fellow in Pittsburgh. Then I moved to the National Research Council in Ottawa. Then I moved to Laval University, where I became a professor of chemical engineering, although I am not an engineer. I'm a chemist. Then I moved to Ottawa, where I built a $25 million research center in catalysis. So that is my journey, and that led me to this podium, and I feel so humbled by this award, and I would like to thank the Royal Society of Canada for selecting me as the recipient of the Romanowski Award for 2023. Global warming, climate changes were not words that are very, very popular 25 years ago. But that is what I decided to do 25 years ago, because I was a material scientist, and I was looking for applications for my material. And it struck me that there are no solid materials that are used for CO2 capture. And that's what I decided to do. And we invented some materials, and we got some patents and so on. And right now we are working with industry to move them from my lab to the real world. So during this process, I had many talented graduate students who did the work, many talented postdoctoral fellows and research associates, and I am forever indebted to them for what they did in my lab and pushing this idea of removing CO2 as a major contribution to this climate change mitigation. And I also would like to thank my family. And one last thing I would like to do, I don't think there is any place other in Canada where I could achieve as much as I did. And that's why I am thankful to the Royal Society of Canada and also for Canada to have given me so many opportunities. I have been like research chair and so on. So it's, the things that I got in this country, I cannot dream of getting anywhere else. Thank you.
La médaille Pierre Chauveau est attribuée en reconnaissance d'une contribution exceptionnelle aux sciences humaines, à l'éclosion de la littérature canadienne et de l'histoire du Canada. The medal is awarded for a distinguished contribution to knowledge in the humanities other than Canadian literature and Canadian history. The winner of the 2023 Pierre Chauveau Medal is Professor Tilotama Rajan of Western University. Tilotama Rajan is Distinguished University Professor and former CRC in English and Theory at Western University. Elle est une éminente spécialiste internationale de la littérature romantique, de la théorie contemporaine et de l'idéalisme allemand, qui met l'accent sur les relations réciproques entre la philosophie, les sciences et la vie et l'esthétique. Also focused on the place of these areas in organizations of knowledge from the Enlightenment to the present, her work brings a new critical edge to the study of literature, the interdisciplinary humanities, and the history of interdisciplinarity. Tilotama Rajan.
Thank you. So I began my career as a student of Romanticism, the literature and thought of the period after the French Revolution. And although the word deconstruction didn't exist at the time, deconstruction as the undoing or questioning of systems of representation was the perspective from which I approached it. And so that led me to look at Romantic literature from the outside via German idealism, which I looked at from the outside via contemporary French theory, which was just beginning to emerge on the horizon. In 1990, I moved to Western as one of the first members of the Center for Theory and Criticism there, of which I was later the director. And I want to thank the center for the seminal role it's played in pushing my thought in a much more interdisciplinary direction and towards thinking about, at a meta level, the interdisciplinarity of the humanities, especially going back to my originating field of German Romantic and Idealist philosophy, which I began to see as a much more interdisciplinary and unsettled formation than it had previously or is even now understood as being. And So my current work, although I do still work on literature, my current work is more on organizations of knowledge, how disciplines connect and disconnect and unsettle each other from the Romantic period onwards, and the interdisciplinary humanities generally. I want to conclude, since I don't want to take up too much of your time, by thanking the Royal Society for giving me this honor. Not that many people in literature have won it, I believe. When I looked it up, it seemed to me that 5 or 6 had. 2 of them were actually in my original field of Romanticism. And interestingly, another was my father, so I want to conclude on that note. My father, Balachandra Rajan, won the Chauveau Medal in 1984, and although I never showed my father any work until I'd finished my PhD, obviously his presence was seminal, sometimes antithetically seminal, but you know, it nurtured me in the sense that I grew up with books. And when he died, which was about 11 years ago, when he died, I realized how much I had grown up with the library of a previous generation. So thank you very much.
The Rutherford Memorial Medals were established in 1980 by the RSC in memory of Lord Rutherford of Nelson. The medals are awarded for outstanding research during the formative stage of a career en tout domaine de la physique et de la chimie. The winner of the 2023 Rutherford Memorial Medal in Chemistry is Dr. Emily Cranston of the University of British Columbia. Emily D. Cranston is a professor and President's Excellence Chair in Forest Bioproducts at the University of British Columbia. Elle est une chef de file mondiale dans le domaine de la chimie des nanomatériaux biologiques. Cranston is highly cited, highly funded, and has won prestigious awards typically reserved for late career scientists. Emily Cranston.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. I'd like to sincerely thank the Royal Society of Canada for the recognition at this formative stage in my career. I'm truly humbled and honored. Thank you to my nominators and reference letter writers. It's invaluable to have the RSC identify my work as important to Canada in the name of Ernest Rutherford. In fact, Rutherford and I both studied at McGill University and loved experiments, but unfortunately, I think our similarities end there. Je viens de la Nouvelle-Écosse. J'ai eu la chance d'étudier, d'effectuer des recherches et de travailler avec des chercheurs dans les entreprises en français, en Nouvelle-Écosse, au Québec, en Ontario et en France. Et je suis fière de pouvoir vous remercier tant en français qu'en anglais. The last few years have brought unprecedented global challenges that have impacted our communities and our research programs. I've also experienced tremendous personal change becoming a mother for the first time. This award gives me hope that academia values our contributions, even with ups and downs, which is crucial to support women in science and engineering and the possibility to be deeply passionate about multiple things. Thanks to the RSC for the opportunity to expand my network and for providing a new platform where I can hopefully inspire others around the topics of mitigating climate change and the associated environmental, social, human health, and economic impacts. Importantly, I did not get here alone. I thank my mentors of the past, Derek Gray, Mark Rutland, Lars Fogberry, and Bob Pelton, McMaster University and UBC for recognizing my potential, offering me real jobs, if we call it that, and nurturing my academic aspirations. Thank you to my collaborators. It has been so much fun learning from you. My family has also been extremely supportive. I'm thankful that my husband, son, and cat have been so understanding when it comes to my long work hours. My husband helps with absolutely everything I do, even this acceptance speech. My dad is a chemist, and my mom is a teacher, so I guess it's not that surprising that I'm a chemistry teacher. But more importantly, my parents inspired me to find a rewarding career where I'd be happy to go to work every day, and I have definitely found it. But above all, I'm grateful to the students and researchers who've worked on my team, who've trusted my leadership and my sustainable materials chemistry goals. They've produced research results that I'm incredibly proud of. These exceptional individuals have gone on to careers in Canadian government, industry, and academic positions around the world. Watching them flourish has checked off every box on my list of personal metrics for success. And so finally, I'd like to take this opportunity to say a heartfelt congratulations, félicitations, to all the winners here today. Thank you very, very much, and merci beaucoup.
The winner of the Rutherford Memorial Medal in Physics is Dr. Ibrahim Karimi of the University of Ottawa. Professor Ibrahim Karimi, a physicist at the University of Ottawa, is a pioneering figure in the field of photonics and electron beam optics. Ses travaux novateurs portent sur la création de nouveaux dispositifs capables de générer des ondes photoniques et électroniques structurées. He has applied these devices to enhance secure communication protocols, simulate complex quantum systems, engineer the quantum wave function of electrons to characterize materials, and address fundamental questions in physics. Ibrahim Karimi.
Merci beaucoup. Bonjour à tous. That's the first time in my life that I'm having a note at the front of myself. Usually I don't have. So I stand before you deeply humbled and profoundly grateful to be the recipients of the Rutherford Memorial Medal from the Royal Society of Canada. This recognition is not just a testament to my personal journey in physics, but is a celebration of the curiosity that drives all of us in the pursuit of knowledge. My fascination for the mystery of light and its peculiar behavior began at quite a young age. I remember being a boy, looking up in fascination at glowing objects in the sky, only to learn a few seconds later that these objects were actually bombs heading straight forwards to us. Growing up in a Kurdish family after the Iranian Revolution and the war meant we were forced to leave our city to survive. This new chapter in my journey led to life in a village in Kurdistan. Every morning, sunlight off the river waves, and I saw sundog during the day and lunar hollows at night. Even if we were sandwiches between war zones, it was paradise for budding optical scientists. Even now, I cannot believe that I'm here, since as a Kurdish kid, I did not have the right to read, write, or speak in Kurdish, my mother tongue. My future prospects seemed bleak. Every recognition received is a reflection of a community. And I am here because of an extraordinary community. My mentors and supporters, including excellent high school teachers in Sagres, who saw potential in my earliest questions, amazing professors in Italy, Iran, UK, Germany, and Canada, my colleagues who have challenged and inspired me, my students who continue to renew my passion for discovery, the University of Ottawa and Canada, which allowed me to pursue my dreams, and my family, especially two remarkable women, my wife, Rahil, and my mom, whose support has been North Star in my sky. In a time where the very fabric of reality is often questioned, our work in quantum physics is more than an academic pursuit. It is a bridge between fundamental laws of the universe and technological revolution that shapes our daily lives. It is about understanding the dance of particles and waves, quite literally eliminate our existence. Rutherford once said, "Gentlemen, we have run out of the money. It's time to start thinking." This reminds us that our greatest resource and strength in the face of challenges is not financial, but boundless realm of human ingenuity and thoughts. Thank you, Canada and the University of Ottawa, for trusting me, and thank you, Royal Society of Canada, for this incredible honor. It's a beacon that will light the path to future discovery. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Dr. Cranston and Karimi. La médaille Sir John William Dawson est attribuée en reconnaissance d'un apport éminent et soutenu en recherche interdisciplinaire ou dans au moins deux domaines différents auxquels la SRC s'intéresse. This award is made for important and sustained contributions in two domains of interest to the RSC or in interdisciplinary research. Oh, well, I'm so sorry. Well, I'll keep going. The 2023 winner of the Sir John William Dawson Medal is Professor John Small, right here. Who thankfully I've known for a very long time. Professor John Small's interdisciplinary research programs, blending geological and biological approaches, have changed the way we assess environmental change. Son analyse minutieuse des informations contenues dans les sédiments des lacs et des fleuves fournit des contextes temporels appropriés pour distinguer les changements naturels des changements anthropogéniques de notre environnement. Small pioneered many of the approaches used to study long-term changes in ecosystems globally, addressing key issues such as pollution, climate change, and biodiversity loss. John Small.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to begin by congratulating all the award winners and also any new fellows and members of the college who may be in the audience. I also would like to acknowledge and thank the nominator and the letter writers who put me up for this award, which I'm very honored to receive, and of course the Royal Society of Canada, which I've been associated with apparently for something like 28 years now. And of course the support of my friends and family, and especially Julie, my spouse, who's been supporting me in many, many different ways, and also coming to the Royal Society meetings with me for some years now. As with all such awards, it's never presented to an individual but to a group, and this is certainly the case in my life. I certainly owe very much to my colleagues at Queen's University, and especially in my specific laboratory in the Department of Biology, which is co-directed by Brian Cumming, the Paleoecological Environmental Assessment and Research Lab, or PEARL as we call it. It's a truly remarkable group of dedicated and excellent scientists, and most importantly, my close friends. It's easy to do science and to work hard if you love what you do and you love doing it with the people that happen to be your colleagues who are outstanding students and other scientists. I'm especially honored, though, to be awarded the Sir John William Dawson Medal, as it's a contribution for knowledge in multiple domains. In my case, primarily biology and geology, but although our work also includes aspects of history, archaeology, ornithology, and many, many other fields. As I often try to tell my students and colleagues, often the most exciting work and some of the biggest discoveries occur when researchers from diverse fields come together and provide their own expertise to address serious problems. And since we deal with environmental problems, we are dealing with serious problems. We need all the help we can get. So what do we do at the Pearl Lab? Well, I'm a limnologist, which is a $10 word for someone who studies lakes and rivers. But my specialty, or the specialty of our lab, is not just limnology, but paleolimnology, studying the history of lakes and rivers. And one might think, what could be more esoteric than that? Well, lakes are quite wonderful in that they're like a time machine. They preserve a history of what happened in that lake and what happened in the surroundings. And that happens in the lake sediments that slowly accumulate over time. In those sediments is an incredible library of information. Some of it's biological, and I'm in a biology department. Some of it's chemical, some of it's physical, some of it's geological. And we can put that information together and reconstruct how lakes have changed over time. Time is important. History is important. It provides context. History can tell us where we were, where we may be going. It's not just the retelling of the past. It can encourage us, but it can also warn us when we're in a failing. Nonetheless, some of the biggest challenges in ecology and environmental research deal with time changes and temporal problems. I recently did an analysis, and most aquatic monitoring programs are less than 1 year in duration. And in fact, about 90% of studies are less than 3 years in duration. Now, 3 years or less of data is enough to answer many important questions. But can they answer questions such as how lakes have changed since before human impacts were major factors on the planet? Or are we dealing with natural variability or something really changing, for example, with climate change? What is the cause of these changes? Each of these questions has a time component associated with it, and that's one of the biggest challenges we have. And so even though it might sound like an esoteric field, there's about 35 people in the lab doing this, so it is actually a very active area of research. These are very exciting times for ecological environmental research, but these are also very scary times. I have to say with some sadness, there is absolutely no shortage of work if you deal in the environmental field. And time is not on our side. So I would just like to end by saying now's neither the time for crippling pessimism nor for delusional optimism. Rather, it's time for clear, objective, evidence-based thinking based on solid data about how and where and how our efforts can go to try and solve some of these major issues. We know nothing less to our colleagues, to our students, and to the public at large. So thank you very much.
L'Institut sur la gouvernance d'organisations privées et publiques, en collaboration avec le SRC, a établi la médaille Yvan Allaire pour honorer la contribution exemplaire de la promotion d'une saine gouvernance au niveau des organisations privées et publiques de toute taille. The winner of the 2023 Yvon Allaire Medal is Dr. Michel Magnon of Concordia University.
Chers collègues de la Société royale du Canada, lauréats des médailles de la Société, distingués invités. Je ne peux être parmi vous aujourd'hui, mais je tiens à remercier la Société de m'avoir décerné la médaille Yvan Allaire de gouvernance des organisations privées et publiques. C'est un honneur de recevoir cette médaille. Je m'intéresse aux questions de gouvernance depuis près de 40 ans, et cette reconnaissance me conforte dans mes choix de recherche et dans la pertinence de mes analyses. Toutefois, c'est aussi un moment d'humilité. En effet, la gouvernance des organisations est un vaste domaine qui touche plusieurs facettes de notre vie de citoyen, et si nos connaissances ont beaucoup évolué au fil des ans, il nous reste encore beaucoup à apprendre sur son fonctionnement. Merci à mes collègues administrateurs, à mes co-chercheurs et à mes étudiants qui m'ont permis d'avancer sur cette question. Merci à Yvan Allaire, dont les travaux ont inspiré mon enseignement et mes recherches. Merci à ma conjointe et co-auteure pour sa patience et pour de nombreux débats familiaux sur la gouvernance. Dear colleagues of the Royal Society of Canada, recipients of Society medals, and distinguished guests, I cannot be with you today, but I would like to thank the Society for awarding me the Yvan Allaire Medal for the governance of private and public organizations. It is an honor to receive this medal. I've been pursuing research on governance issues for nearly 40 years, and this recognition reassures me in my research choices and in the relevance of my analyses. However, it is also a moment of humility. Indeed, organizational governance is a vast field that affects several facets of our lives as citizens, and although our knowledge has greatly evolved over the past few years, we still have a lot to learn about how it works. Thank you to my fellow board members, my co-researchers, and my students who allowed me to move forward on this question. Thanks to Yvan Allaire, whose work inspired my teaching and my research, and thanks to my spouse and co-author for patience and for numerous family debates on governance.
Michel Magnon, professeur-chercheur d'institut de l'Université Concordia, holds a PhD in Business Administration from the University of Washington. He is distinguished member of l'Ordre d'Excellence en Éducation du Québec et Fellow of the Royal Society of Canada. Ses recherches portent sur la gouvernance d'entreprise, la divulgation financière et la responsabilité sociale des entreprises. Michel Magnon. Finalement, nous accueillerons certains gagnants du prix Rosalie Silberman Abella, créé en 2022 en reconnaissance de la carrière exceptionnelle de la juge Abella, une initiatrice de changement célébrée pour ses contributions intellectuelles visionnaires et son engagement de toute une vie à promouvoir l'égalité et l'équité dans la société canadienne et au-delà. The Justice Rosalie Silberman Abella Prize, in the amount of $1,000, will be presented annually to a graduating law student in each of the law schools in Canada who is most likely to positively influence equity and social justice in Canada or globally upon graduation. Mark Brown. A proud son of Newfoundland and Labrador, Mark Brown's rural upbringing taught him the importance of helping and respecting others. These values propelled him to seek public office, becoming the youngest person ever elected to Newfoundland's House of Assembly as the member as a member for Placentia West Bellevue. During law school, he exemplified excellence, graduating top of his class in May 2023 and being named Best Overall Advocate in Canada during the 2022 Sopinka Moot. Il a maintenu son engagement au service des autres pendant ses études de droit. En tant que président de l'Association des étudiants en droit de l'Université of New Brunswick et en tant que bénévole pro bono pour l'Association des pêcheurs de l'île de Prince-Édouard, le projet Stuart McKelvey Wills de Nouveau-Brunswick et la 519 trans-idées cliniques au centre-ville de Toronto. Mark will clerk at the Ontario Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court of Canada and remains committed to championing justice, decency, and equality for all, steadfast in his belief that public service can advance the public good. Mark Brown.
Thank you. There's nothing more left to say. Good afternoon, everyone, et bon après-midi. Merci pour cette introduction chaleureuse et votre accueil. Je suis ravi de vous joindre pour cette occasion spéciale. To stand here in acceptance of the Justice Abella Award is a true honor, because Justice Abella, as all of us now former law students would know, is a true titan in the legal community and someone who spent a career over 40 years on the bench advancing concepts like equality and human rights, both here at home and abroad. So I'm certainly delighted to be here. And I can think of many in my graduating class who would have fit the description to win this award. And I'm fortunate to have graduated with a group of law students in New Brunswick who were not only intellectually gifted, but good and decent people, also eager to make positive change in the world. I'm grateful to Dean Michael Marin and the University of New Brunswick family for this nomination and their unwavering support. It is a small but mighty school, and one I'm privileged to call my alma mater. And it was there that I received a first-rate legal education, without which I would not be here today. But my greatest education came from my parents and my large extended family and community in rural Newfoundland and Labrador. It was there that compassion and kindness towards others was not only encouraged but required. Living on an island in the North Atlantic where the economy at times can be as harsh as the climate, over time engenders a sense of togetherness amongst each other where communities come together to pull on the same oar. For a rising tide floats all boats. And I learned from an early age the power of advocacy from my grandmother, Mary Brennan Brown, who even as early as the 1950s and 60s was the letter writer in the community if there was a radio needed or a government wharf. So she taught me early on that the pen is mightier than the sword, and these are values that have endured with me. While I appreciate this award, our work, all of us who are recipients, I'm sure, will only continue. I still marvel at the power of the law when harnessed properly to effect positive change. I saw this from my desk in the legislature, and I see it every day now while I'm articling at the Court of Appeal. No matter one's station in life, we're all deserving of dignity, respect, and equality. I thank the Royal Society of Canada and Justice Abella for partnering to create this prize to encourage law students across Canada to think about how to advance justice in Canada and globally. And today, I join my colleagues here to recommit to championing justice and dignity for all here at home and abroad. Thank you.
Casey Keynes. Casey Keynes, a Cree and Dene woman, mother, University of Alberta graduate, and advocate from Fort Nelson First Nation, has been fortunate to work alongside incredible leaders in diverse spaces, envisioning ways to reduce systemic inequalities and barriers to access. Et cela greffière de l'ABCA, puis à la Cour suprême du Canada, avant de retourner au Wakato-Wokin Law and Governance Lodge. Casey Keynes.
Thank you, Masi. Hi. It is an honor to be here today in acceptance of the Justice Rosalie Abella Silberman Award. There is a lot of responsibility attached to being an award winner for someone most likely to influence social justice and equity. And it's a responsibility that's not lost on me, maybe more so than an achievement at this point. And so I want to thank the University of Alberta for believing in what is yet to come and for the Royal Society of Canada for signing off on that dream. I want to thank my peers, professors, co-founders, communities who created projects and envisioned different ways of doing the law and community work, who pursued passions that allowed me to find my own path in social equity work. And of course, a special thank you to my own two little girls, Charlie and Tegan, who are my forever reason why to do my own part to creating a better world for them to grow up in. Thank you.
Camila Franco. Camila Franco came to law school after working for a justice committee that supports youth navigating the criminal system. À la faculté de droit de l'Université McGill, elle a participé à des initiatives d'autonomisation de la communauté grâce à son leadership au sein de Red Law, du collectif des femmes de couleur et de programmes de sensibilisation LEX. She worked at the Center for Research Action on Race Relations, McGill's Legal Information Clinic, and the Citizen Lab on issues ranging from racial profiling to tenant rights and digitization surveillance. Camila completed McGill's JD-BCL program with a major in human rights and international development and is currently clerking for Chief Justice Ritu Kular at the Alberta Court of Appeal. Camila Franco.
Bonjour à tous. C'est un grand honneur d'être ici avec vous aujourd'hui. First off, I have to thank McGill for nominating me and for introducing me to inspiring and motivated students who work in social justice every single day. I think all of us here today know that the work of social justice happens in community, and it's certainly not an individual merit. And so I'm really receiving this award on behalf of many, many inspiring students, colleagues, community organizers, leaders, mentors, and professors who I've been really grateful to work with and learn from, and who remain very persistent and optimistic in their view of justice and equity and reconciliation. I have to thank also my partner, my friends, my family, who continue to support me and ground me. And I especially want to thank my parents and my sister who have made lots of personal sacrifices for me to get the opportunities that I have been able to get, and who really role modeled for me what social responsibility means and the power of community. Finally, I of course have to thank the Royal Society of Canada for creating this important award that honors the contributions of many exceptional people, and for bringing us together. I'm so grateful to meet the fellow nominees and recipients of this award. And I am humbled and grateful to receive an award named after Justice Rosalie Abella, a legal giant who is a Jewish woman who was born shortly after World War II and was a refugee. And I wanted to share today some reflections that Justice Rosalie Abella made in a 2017 speech at Brandeis University. And it's something that she was reflecting on, lessons that we hope to learn from the atrocities of World War II. So the three lessons are: first, that indifference is the incubator of injustice. Second, it is not what you stand for, but what you stand up for. And third, we must never forget what the world looks like to those who are most vulnerable. I received this award mostly as a promise to keep Justice Abella's lessons at the forefront of everything I do with the privilege of this law degree. So, merci encore. Thank you.
Saliha Haq. Saliha Haq obtained her JD from the University of Calgary's Faculty of Law in 2023. Pendant ses études, elle a été élue représentante du syndicat des étudiants de la faculté de 2021 à 2023. À ce titre, elle a été le fer de lance de plusieurs initiatives UDI au sein de la faculté de droit. She established the Amana Scholarship in Law, which is aimed toward helping new and current law students belonging to systemically marginalized groups to tackle financial barriers that prevent them from pursuing a career in law. She also organized and hosted the Faculty of Law's first Iftar dinner in 2023, which is the first legal-based Iftar dinner to be hosted by any law school in Western Canada. Saliha is excited to be continuing her legal career at Osler, Hoskin, and Harcourt LLP in Calgary. Saliha Ha.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saliha Haq, and I'm a recent graduate from the University of Calgary's Faculty of Law. I'm incredibly honored to be a recipient of the Royal Society of Canada's Justice Rosalie Silberman and Bella Prize. And my journey, much like Justice Abella's, has been shaped by a commitment to justice and a dedication to uplifting the voices of those who may find themselves on the margin. As an immigrant, as a proud Muslim, as a woman, and as a person of color, my journey through law school was not only about mastering the intricacies of the legal system, but also about advocating for inclusivity, breaking down barriers, and creating a space where every aspiring legal mind, regardless of their background, feels welcome and empowered. This award, named after Justice Abella, amplifies the responsibility I bear having a law degree. This responsibility is twofold. First is to advocate for justice within the legal system and to inspire change beyond its walls. And second, it's one of dismantling barriers, of challenging the systemic injustices, and ensuring that law is a force for positive change in the lives of the individuals and communities we serve. Now, as I receive this award, there are a few individuals I would like to acknowledge. First and foremost, I extend my deepest gratitude and thanks to my parents. Their unwavering support, their sacrifices and encouragement has been the bedrock on which I stand today. So this honor is as much theirs as it is mine. Next, to my husband Sohail, who has been my steadfast companion on this journey, thank you for your enduring support, for understanding, and for your belief in my aspirations. This recognition is a testament to the shared commitment that we hold together. And lastly, I would like to express my gratitude to the University of Calgary's Faculty of Law, and especially Dean Ian Holloway, for his guidance, for his mentorship, and his unwavering belief in the potential of each student. His leadership had created an environment that fosters intellectual curiosity, inclusivity, and a commitment to social justice. So Dean Holloway, as you say shukriya, or thank you for being a beacon of inspiration and for cultivating a space where diverse voices are valued. And as I accept this award, I hope to continue in the path of Justice Abella's vision, ensuring that the principles that she championed for remain at the forefront of my own endeavors. Thank you.
Congratulations. Nikki Sandhu. Graduating from Western University, Nikki Sandhu has dedicated her time to social justice initiatives. Elle est notamment chef d'équipe pour les services juridiques communautaires et co-présidente du comité sur la diversité. Nikki looks forward to articling with the City of Toronto this year. Nikki Sandhu.
I'd like to say thank you to both the Royal Society of Canada for this incredible honor and to the Western Law faculty for this nomination. I would also like to thank all the award winners around me because it is their incredible work that spurs on my own. My name is Nikki Sandhu, and I have had the privilege of studying the law. For me, this is what it is, a privilege. I believe we are shaped and we come from our diverse experiences. And my own, as the daughter of immigrants, I have had the chance to see how the law operates in a very different way. I have been able to see it as a barrier to social justice, but I've also seen it as a method of improving social inequity. It's one of the reasons why I went to law school, because I have seen how it can be used. I can speak to quite a few things that I experienced in my 3 years at Western Law. But I'd like to speak to one of the things that I believe Justice Rosalie Abella was passionate about as well. I had the opportunity to work with community legal services at the law school, and I had the opportunity to work with incredible staff in their incredible missions. I would like to especially thank the Review Council for their guidance, and that of Jason Voss and Gregory Perrick for their mentorship and how they taught me how to be a more compassionate human being. At the Community Legal Services, I had the opportunity to use this privilege with lower income clientele. Wealth disparity is often seen as the invisible form of marginalization. It's often forgotten how it impacts lives and how it can be more difficult to deal with legal challenges when you're still thinking about what food you can get on the table and if you can afford your next medication. I tried to use my time at Western Law to put a voice to this helplessness, and I tried to do it in what ways I could. It's not always easy to speak up. It's my mother that taught me to be fearless, and it is my father who taught me to hold on to my conscience, even when it's incredibly difficult to do so. So I'd like to also thank my professors at Western Law, and there's far too many to count, but they allowed an outspoken woman to speak out about social inequity, and because I knew I would be able to be heard. I'd especially like to thank Professor Oosterveld, Professor Seiges, and Professor Link for their support. And it's incredible to think I would get this award when I have also seen the speeches made by Professor Oosterveld receiving it earlier. Overall, in order to get this award, it does take a village. I would like to thank my sister, who attended with me today, because I wouldn't be able to get here without her encouragement. I would also like to thank my friends in law school and at home, because when it was difficult to continue, it was through their support that I was able to. As many of the other recipients have mentioned, this award does not represent just the work that we've done, but the work that we hope to do in the future. So I like to think this is an award of hope. And in these troubling times, we need it more than ever. So I accept this award as a recognition of my work, but I accept it more as a promise to continue in being outspoken, just as I believe the Honorable Justice Abella has been. Thank you.
Sensei Stats Panguish. Sensei Stats Panguish is a citizen of two great sovereign confederacies, Haudenosaunee Confederacy and the Three Fires Confederacy. Elle est entrée dans l'histoire en étant la première étudiante autochtone à obtenir un master en droit at University of Windsor. She is now pursuing her PhD at Osgoode Hall Law School. et Sensei Stats Panguish.
Nawin, Sego. I first want to say thank you to everybody who has put on this event today. I'm sure it's tireless and long hours, so thank you very, very much. In addition to that, I'd like to tell you today that I am a status Indian under the Indian Act of Canada. The legislation categorizes my identity as an Upper Mohawk registered to the Six Nations of Grand River Territory. My identity is way more complex than that, and my identity is more than a registration number under the Indian Act. You see, as a Haudenosaunee Anishinaabe Kwe, from two great sovereign confederacies, my identity includes my clans, my Anishinaabe Loon clan and my Haudenosaunee Turtle clan. And those clans set out my roles and my responsibilities to not only my clan and my community, but to my nations. My communities hold women as sacred. Our Haudenosaunee Women's Authority is outlined within our Haudenosaunee Great Law of Peace, our creation story, and our Thanksgiving address. Our women are the bringers of life, the chiefship title holders, the clan mothers, and we are responsible for all future generations. But within the introduction of the Indian Act and its male-dominated stance, it has negatively impacted our authority. We know that the Indian Act removed women from our homes, children from our communities, and has contributed to the high levels of suicide rates and the over-incarceration of Indigenous people, to name a few of the impacts it has had. These impacts continue because of the continued assumed sovereignty over Indigenous sovereign nations on Turtle Island. I am grateful for this award. The award description speaks about making change, and in order to make meaningful change to happen, we must look at our roles in the settler and Indigenous relationship. We must do better, not only for ourselves, but for the 7 generations coming. We must take meaningful action to create a better space for settler and Indigenous children. As we gather here for this award ceremony on the 6 miles deep of the Haldeman Proclamation of my people, I think of the Haudenosaunee land protectors just down the way at Landback Lane and our clan mothers who upheld and still uphold Haudenosaunee law by taking meaningful action in improving the ongoing relationship with Canada. I am grateful for my ancestors and my mentors who have made and led and created a space for me today. I am grateful for the continued support of my mentors, Dr. Beverly Jacobs, and many others. I am grateful for my family and my loved ones that during the most difficult process of writing this master's thesis about the overwhelming impacts of the doctrine of discovery on the authority of Haudenosaunee women and the devastating loss of my father, my family and loved ones have always encouraged me and held me up when I was weak. I'm grateful for the babies in my family because I know that my role and my responsibilities are to create a better space, a world hopefully free of racism. And I hope that they never lose sight of how powerful they are. Nawin, thank you very much.
Congratulations to all of our winners of the 2023 Justice Rosalie Silberman Abella Prize. Chers invités, voilà qui termine notre cérémonie de cette année. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this year's Medal and Awards ceremony. What amazing achievements and what amazing trajectory, and perhaps most wonderfully, what amazing people. Congratulations again. I'd like to have a round of applause for our medal and award winners.